Hi, hope you're having a nice lunch. Every day at around this time we do a video to join you for lunch. Today we'll talk a little bit about Obama's deception on taxes. The way it works is that you take your program, your ideas of what you're going to do in the White House, and you give it to your pollster. And he or she then polls each of the items in the proposal and tells you what to feature and what not to feature, what to talk about and what not to talk about. And you don't really need to hack the enemy's phone to find out what it is that his poll told him. All you need to do is listen hard to his speeches. I bet that Obama's poll polled the various tax increases that he wanted. And number one, you guessed it, was taxing corporate jets. That probably was way up there on top. So every single time he wants to talk about how he's going to raise taxes a little bit so that the rich can do their fair share in dealing with the budget problem, he talks about corporate jets. The other day at his Twitter press conference, he said, the Republicans should not hold a gun to the head of the country in order to get the country to vote extra money for corporate jets. Now, in fact, they're not doing that at all. All they're doing is trying to repeal the deduction or the depreciation for corporate jets, or limit it. But he'll always use the corporate jets. The other day he said, well, you can still fly in your corporate jets, you'll just have to pay a little bit more. Well, the fact is that corporate jets are almost nothing in his proposal. He's looking for about $400 billion of additional tax revenue, and $2 billion of it comes from corporate jets, or $3 billion. Tiny amount. The big test, the big draw is on you, on people who are making, and I don't mean to pry, but who are making $250,000 a year as a family or more, or $200,000 as an individual. If you're in that category, I'll bet you didn't realize how rich you are, but you're one of the top 4% of the United States. And the bad news is that you're currently paying 57% of the income taxes in the country, even though there's only 4% of us. And we're already paying the majority, the vast majority, of the income tax payments. So what he's proposing for people who make more than 200, or families who make more than 250, basically people who are just beginning to enter the middle class, who maybe have a home with a mortgage of, say, $2,000 a month, or maybe $1,000 a month in property taxes. Maybe they give away $1,000 a month to charity and they live in a state that has an income tax. Somebody that meets that job description is going to pay $5,000 more in federal taxes under Obama's proposal. About $400 a month, about $100 a week. And that, not the corporate jets, is going to be what's going to go up. Because what he's going to do is to take all those deductions you have for mortgage interest, for property taxes, for charitable donations, and for state and local taxes, income taxes, and combine them all, and then reduce them by the value by 20%. So that'll be about $100 a week hit for everybody. Now, it's not just the money. It's not just that you don't want to hurt people by making them pay that much more in taxes. It's the economy. It's the economy's stupid. The people who are in the top 4% of the country buy a majority of the consumer products, more than half. So if you're going to cut them back by $100 a week, that's going to come right out of consumer spending in the United States. It's going to come right out of reducing the money that's flowing into our economy. And last month was the first month out of the last 8 in which consumer spending was completely flat and didn't go up at all. But it's more important than even that. What it really amounts to is whether we have a permanently larger government in the United States. What Obama tried to do was to expand government, borrow the money, and then use the resulting budget deficit to force conservatives to vote for higher taxes. And this is the prime example of that. And it is terribly important that we reduce the size of our government. We can't have the government eating up 44% of our gross domestic product like it is today. It used to be 35% when Obama took office, and still have a free enterprise system. You just can't have the government absorbing that much capital and still have a country with a free market system left. So the issue is not just to balance the budget, not just to roll back federal spending, not just to help the economy by not taxing people, but to go further and to limit the size of government so that you can have enough capital for a free market system. You can't have capitalism without capital. And if the government's eating up all of the capital, you can't begin to have it. So those are the stakes in the debate. So don't listen to the Huey about corporate jets. That's nonsense. That's a pollster's dream. It's a line sent to defend a program that is basically and fundamentally wrong, a program to raise taxes on the middle class. Thanks for listening. Have a nice lunch.